This is the story behind one of the most explosive tech origin stories of the 21st century, Mark Zuckerberg and the founding of Facebook, and the accusation that he took someone else's idea. It's a tale of college ambition, code, lawsuits, and billions of dollars, and it all started on the campus of Harvard. By 2003, Harvard was a hotbed of student projects and early social networks. Two Harvard rowers, Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss, together with their classmate Divya Narendra, had a specific idea: a private, online directory for Harvard students. They wanted a site where students could find each other, see profiles, and confirm social connections, a more exclusive, vetted network than the open web. They hired a computer science student, and they also recruited help from other classmates. Around the same time, another student, Mark Zuckerberg, a computer prodigy from a young age, was building web projects and experimenting with social tools. The scene was crowded with similar ideas, but tensions would soon arise about who moved first, and who copied whom. The Winklevosses and Narendra were working on a site initially called Harvard Connection, later rebranded as ConnectU. They envisioned a closed network for Ivy League students, managed by the students themselves. In parallel, Mark Zuckerberg launched a different project, first conceived as FaceMash, a campus site that compared student photos, and then, in early 2004, a new platform called the Facebook, initially limited to Harvard. The key dispute centers on timing and access. The Winklevoss team says they approached Zuckerberg in mid-2003, asked him to help code their site, and that he agreed. They claim that after that meeting, Zuckerberg delayed their project and instead used the ideas and momentum to build his own site. Zuckerberg's account, offered in interviews and later testimony, presents a different picture. He had his own ideas, had been building related projects, and launched the Facebook based on his own work. In February 2004, the Facebook went live at Harvard. It quickly spread beyond one campus to other Ivy League schools and then to universities across the United States. The site's viral growth was fueled by invitations, campus networks, and a product that resonated with students who wanted an online identity tied to their campus life. At the same time, ConnectU was still trying to get off the ground. For the Winklevosses and Narendra, watching the Facebook grow felt like watching their idea move faster than theirs, and they began exploring legal options. In 2004, the Winklevoss twins and Narendra filed a lawsuit alleging that Zuckerberg had agreed to help build ConnectU, then intentionally delayed work and used the project's ideas to create the Facebook. The legal battle would be long and complex, involving claims about partnership, breach of contract, and intellectual property. Facebook's defenders argued that many concepts were general, online directories and social networks were already circulating, and that Zuckerberg's work was distinct and independently developed. The fight moved through depositions, discovery, and eventually settlement talks. In 2008, the parties reached a settlement reported to be roughly $65 million, a combination of cash and stock. For the Winklevosses, the settlement was a considerable sum, but it carried an ironic twist. As Facebook's value skyrocketed, the stock portion became far more valuable, and later disputes erupted about whether the settlement terms had been fully and fairly represented. The legal story did not end there. The Winklevosses later argued that Facebook had misled them during the settlement process, and courts revisited aspects of that claim. But the major public turning point remained the 2008 settlement, a payday that made headlines and raised questions about fairness, timing, and the valuation of nascent tech stock. Beyond the central dispute, many other players shaped Facebook's path. Eduardo Saverin, an early co-founder, provided initial funding and later had his own very public split and settlement with Zuckerberg. Sean Parker, the Napster co-founder, became an early mentor and a connector to Silicon Valley investors. These relationships brought capital, structure, and the ruthless scaling mindset that turned a campus site into a global company. Why does this story still resonate? Because it sits at the intersection of invention, ethics, and power. In startups, ideas circulate rapidly, teams form and dissolve, intellectual property can be ambiguous when multiple people are working in the same space. The Facebook controversy forces us to ask, who deserves credit when an idea becomes massive? How do we balance legal contracts with moral claims? And how should early collaborators protect themselves? The case also shows the outsized value of timing, being first to market with the right execution, network effects, and investors can eclipse technical nuances about who wrote which lines of code. Today, Facebook, now Meta, is a trillion-dollar platform that reshaped media, politics, and personal connection. Mark Zuckerberg is one of the world's richest people. The Winklevosses are known not only for this lawsuit, but also for their later ventures in finance and crypto. Divya Narendra continued as an entrepreneur and investor. The legal battles, the film adaptations, and the academic debates have made this origin story part of modern tech folklore. The clearest lesson. In the digital age, protect your ideas with clear agreements, document collaboration, and know that execution, not just invention, often determines who wins. The Zuckerberg Winklevoss story is not a simple tale of theft or genius. It's a complicated human story about ambition, risk, and the messy real-world ways that fortunes and empires are built. Whatever side you take, the episode changed how startups think about founders, credit, and the cost of moving fast. If you found this deep dive useful, like, subscribe, and tell us which tech origin story you want next.